8 in the National Football League, and then there were 6 standing. One was a nail-biter and a kind of a Cinderella story. The other, business as usual for the Super Bowl champ. Primetime coming up.
Coming up on NFL Primetime. In a divisional playoff duel, the fabulous 49ers face the fired-up Falcons. Will Terrell Owens and the red-hot Niners burn Atlanta, or can Jamal and the dynamic Dirty Birds soar past San Francisco? Head mile high, it's a showdown of legendary gunslingers as Marino and Elway square off for their first ever playoff clash. Can Elway's Broncos buck the Dolphins, or will Dan's high-flying fish fillet Denver once again? Who'll advance to the Final Four? NFL Primetime, next!
It's a Saturday edition of Sunday NFL Primetime for Part 1 of the Divisional Playoffs. Hi, everybody, and welcome to the show. I'm Chris Berman, along with Tom Jackson. The big boys swung into action. You play all year to get buys, get some rest, play at home, and the teams playing this weekend at home are combined 31-1, and we can see why.
Well, a little bit more at stake today, and the home field advantage started to take hold.
The game in the first round, Tom, that in this round that we thought would be close, was indeed close. But think about through the years, San Francisco's mastery over the Atlanta Falcons. I'm just going to read some of the scores. 34-7, 39-17, 41-10, 42-3, 50-14, 56-17, 41-3. You get the picture. But as we said this morning, these are not your father's Falcons. 14-2. They've won 9 in a row. They won the NFC West. They've got their coach on the sidelines less than a month after bypass surgery. And today, a chance to break the curse. Atlanta at home against San Francisco. And what a heartwarming sight, literally and figuratively, see Dan Reeves on the field. Atlanta's first home playoff game since 1980. Oh, and Garrison Hurst on the first play of the game. Turn away, please. Left foot gets caught on the turf. Broken left fibula. Garrison Hurst, number 2 man rushing in the NFC, gone after one play. Kind of like the scene carting off Bryant Young a few Monday nights ago. Meanwhile, the number 1 rusher in the NFC is Jamal Anderson. Not only is he quick, not only does he see holes, he carries tacklers for 14 yards. Chris Chandler, Terrence Mathis, became a dad 6 hours before the game. He and his wife, a little baby girl. And then that cat got it down to the 3, and Jamal Anderson on the first Atlanta drive, 2-yard touchdown run, 7-0, the Falcons. 3 minutes left in the half now. It's 7-0 in the second quarter as the game has settled down. Watch Merton Hanks make the move, get the block, the speed, and then drive Merton Hanks once, twice, and a dive for the touchdown, 14-0 Falcons.
Yeah, great block at point of attack. You're going to see Winfred Tubbs, the linebacker, come from the top to the bottom of your screen, get into the hole. Brian Kozlowski, nice block on his legs, takes him out. Nice hit of the hole by Anderson.
All the disputes this year on the calls, it looks like, well, look, this is a lateral. It's a fumble. Atlanta picks it up, and Chuck Smith could go all the way for a touchdown. But first they rule no touchdown. Then they rule Kirby recovered the lateral, and he was down.
Great call by the official. Kirby makes the recovery before he gets up. He's touched by Henry Crockett. Everything else that happens after this, a moot point.
Well, Dan didn't think it was a moot point. He had to calm down a little bit, but the Niners keep the ball. They're down 14-0. Just a few minutes left in the half. Steve Young to Chuck Levy. He produces 34 yards out of the Falcons' 26-yard line. 2 plays later, Young, Jerry Rice, who has owned the Falcons to his career touchdown, to 14-7 games. The Niners get the call, the good call, and then go in for the touchdown. Next possession, watch Charles Haley, number 95, bat the ball. Junior Bryant catches it. It's a fumble, but he's ruled down, and the Niners are in business again with just seconds to go.
Charles Haley making an impact the 2 weeks he's been with the team. Great job of getting his hands up. Junior Bryant focusing on the ball, and then a great job of covering it up on a nice hit by Chandler right there.
49ers get a field goal as the young team kind of buckling under the pressure. It's now a 14-10 game. Brinson Buckner does not let the ball carrier go between his legs. It's on 4th and 1. Anderson is stopped. Mariucci's Niners are in business. 3rd and 9 at the 24. Young, after a pretty good drive, picked off by Eugene Robinson from
Hartford, Connecticut.
And Robinson not only makes the pick, he's looking to score. First, he gets the block from Cornelius Bennett, but look at Kirby stay with the play and make the tackle, but the big pick against Steve Young prevents the Niners from taking the lead. 3rd and goal at the 15. Chris Chandler scrambling. The Niners defense kind of really hunkered down after that first drive in most cases. Chandler phones home, wasn't pleased. 17-10, Morton Anderson hits a field goal. 4th quarter, 3rd and 6, 49ers. Young to Jerry Rice. Now watch J.J. Stokes. Boom, right there. 38 yards out of the 44-yard line. But the next play, early 4th quarter, William White is there. So 2 costly picks against Young in the second half. That led to a field goal made it 20-10.
And you saw the tight end there stopped on the pattern, Clark. So Young threw the ball to a spot where he thought the tight end would be.
Tom, is this Dan Reeves?
Dan raising the roof.
Dan raising the roof. Meanwhile, 4:25 to go. Young to J.J. Stokes. Niners down by 10. Pick up 33 yards all the way down to the 12-yard line. 2 plays later. You know, at 37, he can still move. He's still got speed, and he's still got guts, Tom.
Outstanding quicks, makes his way into the corner of the end zone, does it standing up.
Touchdown, 20-16. Routine extra point, right? Wrong. Bad snap. Ty Detmer has the presence of mind to wait and find Greg Clark. So it's an inadvertent 2-point conversion that makes it 20-18. A field goal could win it. The hands team is on. Wade Ritchie kicks it out of bounds. He doesn't kick an onside kick, and he doesn't kick it down the middle of the field. A crucial miscue by the 49ers. Now, with no timeouts left, the Niners get a break when Jamal Anderson on a pitch goes out of bounds. So the Niners are going to get the ball after 55 seconds. Bernard W. McQuarters go forward. Go forward. Oh. Good Falcons special teams. And the Niners now have to go a long way for the field goal attempt. False start penalty puts him back on the 1-foot line. Young to Chuck Levy. He back times his way up to the 26-yard line. 11 seconds to go. There's no timeouts. They need a miracle. And then after the miracle, could you please get out of bounds? William White secures Atlanta's first berth in the championship game. Watch Mariucci. Watch the final throw. Dan Reeves, the final throw. Wait, come on, Dan. Come on. Hey, there's the smile. Eugene Robinson played in the last 2 Super Bowls with the Pack. He's 1 game away from another one with Atlanta. Atlanta Falcons. Oh, Atlanta. They've never gotten this far before. 20-18. Jamal Anderson, $113, means he had 100 yards rushing against the Niners in all 3 this year for the first time since 91. No Dallas, no San Fran, no Green Bay in the NFC Championship game. What an emotional day for Atlanta, starting with the head coach, Dan Reeves.
Well, it's really and truly beyond my wildest dreams. I thought we would be competitive and hopefully be in the playoffs. To say I thought we were going to be in a championship game before the season started, you know, that's not true.
We ain't no joke, baby. Ain't no joke. Ain't no joke. I'm telling you. You go over there and ask those 49ers. The Atlanta Falcons, we're not a joke. We're for real. And I'm telling you, we got a chance to win this whole thing.
I wanted to play the perfect game. And especially with the running game and the Garrison out, there was a big load on me.
I tell you what, man, this team right here, I'm so proud of each and every member of this football team. Because we're fighters. We're not quitters. When everyone counted us out, we didn't count ourselves out, and that means a lot to me.
Well, you see Biscuit right there, Cornelius Bennett. Hey, he's known defeated. He'd like to get back to the Super Bowl and amend the 0-4. Well, where'd Steve Young refer to when Garrison Hurst goes out right away? They're almost better off him in the middle of the week. Let's say it was a hamstring and he couldn't play, because now you put all your eggs in the basket. If they need 100 yards from Garrison Hurst, he's hurt. They couldn't run the ball at all, and that changed everything.
Well, 20 carries for 46 yards, so it changed the philosophy of head coach Steve Mariucci in terms of what he was going to be able to do running the ball. The 49ers ran the ball for 9 yards in the first half, and 7 of those came on Garrison Hurst's first play from the line of scrimmage. As far as the Atlanta Falcons were concerned, an outstanding game plan. The 113 yards that Chris mentioned, 29 carries by Jamal Anderson, so they controlled the tempo of the game. They put all the pressure on Steve Young to have to make throws to win the game, and I think as we heard Steve say, you know, that was a little bit too much. They didn't have the balance that they needed. And then you look at the Atlanta Falcons, a fairly mistake-proof ball game at home usually results in a win.
We thought that the Falcons playing at home obviously would be fired up on the Niners at 9:30 a.m. Pacific Coast time kickoff, and Atlanta went right down the field and got a touchdown the first time they had the ball. But then it kind of settled in a little bit as the Niners defense dug in. And Young said, hey, 2:55 left. We only need a field goal. I liked our position. But Atlanta's the team without a lot of playoff experience for a lot of guys. Just one turnover. Just one turnover. They played with poise when they had to.
That's a reflection of Dan Reeves. I can tell you the first time we went to the playoffs with him, we knew that we had the ability to go out and try to win the whole thing.
After the game, Chris Doleman, who's had a great career, most notably with the Vikings and last few years with the 49ers, said he would be retiring. We told you about Terrence Mathis. What a happy day for the Mathis family. A daddy for the first time and in the championship game with the Atlanta Falcons. I don't know if it gets much better than that, although Dan Reeves might feel so. Congratulations to Dan Reeves. His club has now won 10 straight games. As we go inside the numbers, the turnover differential in the playoffs, if you force more than you commit, that's going to help you. Now look at the Atlanta Falcons starting with 96 and halfway through the 97 season. 4-20. 2 years ago they were 3-13. Their turnover differential -18. Last 25 games, so that's midway last year, all of this year 14-2 and a win in the playoffs, plus 26. They are the good hands people.
Inside the Numbers is brought to you by Visa, the preferred card of the NFL. It's everywhere you want to be.
When we return, can Marino make it 2 for 2 against John Elway? Or would Elway and the Broncos at home say, not so fast? Number 13. We'll be back. Strange, the Mercedes Championship, third round from Kapalua, coming up at 8 Eastern. That's 3 Hawaiian. Sunday NFL Countdown. Tommy talks with Bill Parcells, a real revealing interview. And we'll talk Fred Taylor. We'll talk the late game, Vikings Cards. That's tomorrow at 11:30 a.m. And then on... See, it's that same action shot, but you know, that desk is a mess. You know, I've been meaning to talk to me about that. Primetime tomorrow night at 7:30 Eastern.
Today's Sports Central.
What's wrong with Terrell Davis? Nothing! We'll be back on NFL Primetime in a moment with the Broncos, Dolphins, highlights. I still haven't cleaned the desk up. I need more time, you see. The Miami Dolphins came into Denver for the divisional playoffs. A little bit of momentum. They'd beaten the Buffalo Bills last week. And then 3 weeks ago, they had beaten their foe today, the Denver Broncos. The Broncos, who started 13-0, ended 14-2. And how were they really coming in as defending Super Bowl champs? Were they hot, or were they just a facsimile of the team that we saw in September and October mow down the rest of the league? Well, one thing they knew. They'd won 17 straight at Mile High Stadium, where things usually go pretty well for them. Hey, how about Elway and Marino not playing each other for 13 years? Now they play each other twice within 3 weeks. Terrell Davis held only 29 yards by the Dolphins in that Monday night game in Week 16, and Miami got the ball first. O.J. McDuffie had dropped. 3rd and 8. Marino tries to wait for the midnight hour and hit Stanley Wilson Pritchett. A drop. Broncos' first possession, a little different success. Elway buys some time. Rod Smith, he dollies one over Sam Madison for a first down. 2 plays later, Elway being chased, runs out of room, and Robert Jones, we had the interception, but he dropped it. Key turning point of the game. Next play, 3rd and 6, Elway crossing route to Easy Ed McCaffrey. First down. Broncos spread it around. Elway, Shannon Sharp. Elway 7 for 8 on the drive. Oh, yeah, then there's this guy, Davis. Who is this guy, Tom? Davis? Terrell Davis, 13 yards. Next play, enough passing. We'll pitch it to Terrell Davis running left.
Yeah, and the theme for the day you saw on that first run was the cutback lane.
1 yard run, 1 drive, 1 touchdown, 38 yards on the drive. He's already ahead of that pace 3 weeks ago against the Dolphins, and I think he would exceed it. Elway. And after another 3 and out by Miami. Look at the catch by McCaffrey, Tom. Great extension for the long game.
Well, Eddie McCaffrey and Rod Smith received a lot of criticism after the Monday night game. They wanted to come out and prove that they could play well, and they used their size to advantage today.
And there's a good thing there's no hole here, and there's a good thing that Terrell Davis has no moves. 20-yard touchdown, 14-0. Beeman.
Again, the play is toss 14, the illusion of going outside with Terrell Davis looking for the cutback lane, and what an outstanding move right there at the end on Sam Madison to get into the end zone.
Dolphins get a field goal, 14-3, third possession, Denver. Again, it's not as if they got the ball at the midfield stripe, but they do now. 29-yard run by Davis. Fifth straight playoff game, 100-yard game for Davis. Same drive, 4th and 1. Elway going to the air to Rod Smith, the first down to Moore. Davis temporarily out. Derek LaVille takes the pitch. They run right. They cuts inside, and it's going to be an 11-yard touchdown. 21-3 Denver. 3 touchdowns on 3 possessions.
Yeah, and Derek LaVille, a good job of learning from Terrell Davis. Looks like the ball's going outside. There's the cutback lane. You see the overrun by 2 of the backers, including Zach Thomas, and then muscling his way into the end zone.
Jimmy's annoyed at the officials, but he should have been mad at his own team. They had no way that they had solved the Denver offense. Now, third quarter, Davis up the middle. Terrell Buckley finally tackles him 62 more yards, sets up a field goal, 24-3. I think you get the gist of the game. Lamar Thomas makes a catch. Marino's receivers started to hang on, but it was way too late. Bill Romanowski played a heck of a game, Tom, and here's the interception.
Forced Marino out of the pocket, made him throw on the move, and not with that little slide to the left. He was running toward the line of scrimmage. Errant throw. Romanowski grabbed it.
Romanowski from Vernon, Connecticut. Fourth quarter, 24-3. Elway to Rod Smith. Touchdown! What a great adjustment he makes against Madison, 31-3. Next drive, Miami. Marvin Washington. Well, I guess you can pin your ears back when you're up 31-3. Marino to Oronde Gadsden. He's hurt. He fumbles it. Neil Smith. Good. Go. Oh. Way. It's a touchdown. Touchdown. 79 yards. 38-3. Oh.
This is a great play by Neil. Neil picks the ball up, and you see him do the little hesitation right here, wait on Braxton to form a block, and then speed his way into the end zone. It doesn't matter how you get there, he got there.
11.7. That was a Ray Guy hang time on a punt. Mike Shanahan, well, the difference of emotions. Dan Marino cannot believe that the Dolphins went into Denver and got waxed 38-3. 5 straight 100-yard games in the playoffs for Terrell Davis. He had 199 today, gives him 880 in the last 5 playoff games. Obviously, all Dolphin wins. After the game, as the Miami Dolphins still pondering that they haven't won a road playoff game since Super Bowl 8, 25 years ago. After the game, Mike Shanahan and others spoke.
Our backs were against the wall, and we had to play a complete football game. When you're playing for something, and Robbie, everybody knows what we were playing for, the juices are flowing a little bit more. And to play at home and have that advantage, a combination of those two things sometimes gets you over the hump.
I was just trying to go out there and just run wild, and those moves were just instincts. I didn't try to think about them. And surprisingly enough, I got free and scored a touchdown.
Our tank was about empty when we came into Denver today. And so, as I told the players, this ought to put emphasis on the point of you got to win enough games during the regular season to get a bye and get people healthy and get gunned up and get ready for the opponent.
Well, Denver certainly, you don't finish 14-2 and go 13-0 and accident. 92, 66, and 76 yards the first 3 drives of the game for Denver, all long drives. And Tommy, the 38 carries, 250 for Denver. 13 carries for 14 yards for Miami.
That's not enough.
That's an average of an equipment man tripping over a trunk. That's 1 yard a carry. Not going to do it.
Well, run the ball and stop the run are the first 2 keys to playoff football and winning playoff football. I think the Broncos did an outstanding job of that today. You can see that Mike Shanahan, who is a master game planner, opened up the playbook again. He wanted to get Rod Smith and Eddie McCaffrey and Shannon Sharp involved in the game plan early on. You can't go into Mile High Stadium and fall behind quickly. And then when you look look at the turnovers. You saw 2 today by Dan Marino in terms of interception, but plus 21 turnover differential for the winners of the 6 playoff games so far.
You know what was odd? The last 2.5 minutes of the game, first Denver knelt on the ball, then Miami. There was more kneeling in the last 2.5 minutes of this game than in St. Patrick's Cathedral on Easter Sunday. I'm telling you, it was bizarre.
Yeah, I think that when you start looking at basically what you have to do in the playoffs, teams who have run the ball for most attempts 6-0, most yards 6-0, least turnovers 6-0. Those are 3 keys.
As we go inside the numbers, well, how good was Terrell Davis's $1.99 today? Well, we want to update something you might have seen elsewhere. Eric Dickerson's .248 against Dallas in 1985 is a playoff rushing record. There were 4 other 200-yard games. Keith Lincoln just scored again against the Patriots. Tim Smith in the Super Bowl against, who was that, Tom? Freeman McNeil, Lawrence McCutcheon, and TD, the 6th best postseason rushing game ever. When we return, game balls or comments on the Falcons and Broncos moving on.
Primetime Players is brought to you by 10-10-321. Dial it and save 50% on calls over 10 minutes.
Hey, there's no question. We're raising the roof and giving the game ball to Dan Reeves, Atlanta's first title game appearance ever. He's one of 3 coaches ever to take 3 different teams to the playoffs. Welcome back, Coach.
And my game ball goes to the new league MVP, Terrell Davis, 21 carries, 199 yards, and 2 touchdowns for the defending champions. We'll be back.
Izzy, this cold.
Well, we now know this. The early game next Sunday will be the NFC Championship game. The Vikings beat Arizona tomorrow. It's Atlanta at Minnesota. The Cardinals pull the upset. Arizona goes to Atlanta. The late game, the AFC Championship game. The Jags-Jets winner tomorrow will be at Denver late in the afternoon at Mile High, Sunday the 17th.
I am intrigued by the coaches that we've seen so far and who will filter through game plan, preparation, motivation. We could see the best foursome we've ever seen next week.
How about tomorrow? There will be 5 teams left in the playoffs for the late game, and one of them is Arizona. For Tom Jackson, I'm Chris Berman. Thanks for watching. See you on Countdown tomorrow.
Champions from last year play here. So win this event, and you've triumphed over the game's best. Some of golf's...
Tell you what.